I want to go over the answer key to this week's practice problem so that you can double check anything regarding the comments I sent back to you and such. So here we had a table and we had a graph, and you needed to find the slope and y-intercept for both of those for day one. So the water sport y-intercept is, you had to go back to 0, and several of you told me 70. That is not the y-intercept. So if we find our change in y and our change in x, that is of course our slope. So I took 50 over 1, I took $50. If you just put 50, I took that. But then to find the y-intercept, it's something plus 50 equals 70. So you had to work backwards in order to find that, because the y-intercept is the y value where x is 0. So I was looking for 20 here. That is the beginning amount for the water sports. If we look at then the graph, the y-intercept is going to be where we cross the y-axis. Okay, so I was looking for $40 here. And then the slope, you needed to pay attention to the scale. A lot of you did not do that. So you told me that this was plus 40 rise over run, but then some of you told me 2, but if you look at this scale, it was actually only 1. So I was actually looking for, on this one, I was looking for a slope of, you could tell me 40 over 1, some of you told me 40, some of you just told me $40. For day 2, or for lesson 2, I was looking for words. I wanted you to just fill in the different words that you use to determine slope. So it's going to be any of our multiply words, per, each, things like that. And then the y-intercept was, of course, beginning, or some of you used the word had, as in that was what they started with and such. And I liked a lot of your little scenarios that you wrote. Those were very cute. Some of you forgot to write that equation, but that was just fine. I was just checking to make sure you were good with the vocabulary. On lesson 3, we kind of put it all together. So Melissa is saving $25 that she earned for washing her mom's car. So this is our B, and then she earns $10 every week. So this is our M. So remember, it's Y equals MX plus B. Now they did tell us to use T for the money that she has saved at the end of in weeks. So week, every week, so that would be our X. So we're going to use our N here, and we're going to use T here for the total. So our M was 10 plus 25. So you needed to choose A here. Some of you flip-flopped and you chose B because you flip-flopped your slope and your y-intercept. If we look at number 2, we again, some of this one was really a struggle for some people because it said which is true. So you were looking for the best way to do this is find the slope and the y-intercept. So I went ahead and I just went from 75 to 120 because then I didn't have to deal with any decimals. This becomes 11. So this is going to be 45, but that's not our slope. 45, and then 8 to 20 is 12. So our slope is 45 over 12. And when I divide that out, I get 12 goes into 45 3 times. It's 36, 9, 7 is 84, and 60. So this is a 5. So that means that the slope, or the cost, 375 per class, which is actually F. So you didn't actually have to work back and find your change in, or your y-intercept, because that was your answer. If you wanted to, you could have, so, and we could plug it in. Remember, it's y equals mx plus b. So if I wanted to know what y was, if I have a slope of 375 times 10 plus some amount, and I know that my y value is actually right here, so I could say 8250. I can plug in what I know. So I have 8250 is equal, when I multiply that, I get 3750 plus something. I can take away the 3750 from both sides. 0.007, so $45. So the equation for this would actually be 375x plus 45, and none of these had a membership fee. That would be your B value, right, of 45. So be very careful when you're working through these. It helps to find all of the pieces. On this one, most of you did really well. You were able to say, okay, the B is a -1.5. So you were able to eliminate F and J, but we needed to count. First of all, we realized it is in fact slope is negative because the line is going down. So we're going to count down 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the problem was it's rise over run, so -2/8, which is a -1/4. Some of you did in fact pick -4 because you flip-flopped. You did change in x over change in y instead of change in y over change in x, which is how you get that -4. So you don't want to do that. Be very, very cautious. Then we had this last question. Which function can be used to find y, the number of typicals remaining x hours from 4 p.m. So you can see that it is in fact going down. So that means that our slope is negative. So we could definitely eliminate a couple of answers. So we should not be choosing F or G because we know our slope is negative. And if we look at it, it is going down 3,000 every 1 hour. So we know our equation so far is -3,000x. Now, some of you did put h. Well, but this is not our b. This is not our y-intercept because remember our y-intercept is where x is 0. So I needed to go back another 3,100. And this is in fact my b value. So plus 1,500, which was j. I think that is all. Gone through all of them. If you have any questions, please let me know.